Clearly, I'm not the rock star here. I'm the amateur. You're not here to see me. But hi, my name is Lyndsey Parker. This is just water, I swear. I'm hydrating. It's too early in the day for anything else. Thank you so much for coming today. I have some notes about how exciting it is that we have Yellowcard here, so give me one moment. I clearly didn't plan this better. Okay, so obviously we're here to see Yellowcard. Better Days. Yeah, we can applaud that. Yay! Thank you so much for coming. This is a really good turnout also for, I don't know if you guys took off work or school, but thank you for doing that. We can, vouch for you if you get in any trouble, whatever. So, yes, Better Days is the first album from Yellowcard. I can't believe it's actually been almost a decade. And this is how exciting it is that they're here and how exciting it is that they have a new record, because here are the stats I wanted to bring up. So, the title track from Better Days just became their first ever #1 on alternative radio. Very surprisingly, actually, even Ocean Avenue didn't do that. But this song, Better Days, it stayed at #1 at alternative radio for 3 weeks. And here's a fun fact, if you like fun chart facts. This set an alternative rock chart record for the longest stretch between an artist's first appearance on the chart and then their #1 entry, because they first charted in 2003 with Way Away. And so then, let's do the math. 22 years later, that's right, they have their first #1, and that just shows how exciting it is that, they're back and how excited everybody is, as is the turnout here. So I think we should just get to it, and let's welcome Yellowcard.
Thank you.
You want to help me with this mic? Because I'm so not a rock star. I'm trying to juggle my hello while you guys settle down. Help me out. Oh, okay, you're gonna help me out. Thank you. Oh. All right.
That's why we didn't do this last week. Still in there.
Faker.
Thanks for your help.
No problem.
Appreciate it. All right, so yeah, must feel good to be back. I was just saying how well received the title track is to Better Days. It's your first #1 in alternative rock radio. It's, a lot of times I think when a band, doesn't put anything out for a decade or so, you don't know if people are still going to be excited or, so the music industry changes so quickly and is so fickle. So I guess I'll just ask the first question. How does it feel to be back and have such a warm reception?
How does it feel?
Feels awesome.
Yeah, we are completely blown away by basically everything that is happening in our lives right now. In terms of getting a #1 single on the radio. When it happened, I thought I was thinking all the time, what? I'm trying to think of another band, maybe it's someone that I know or I would be familiar with that has this story, we haven't, the last time we would have gone to radio, we said go to radio, because radio is
it's a project.
It's a beast. And
you can't just put songs out and then they're gonna play it on the radio.
You have to have a record company and a team of people, and it costs a lot of money to service a song to radio. So last time we would have done that would have been in 2007. And the song kind of just barely charted and whatever. But so 20 years apart, from our last radio campaign, to go #1. I'm like, what other band? And on the day that it went #1, I texted Travis Barker and I said, dude, we did it. And he said on his own, I didn't say, what other band can you think? He said, the only other band I can think of that kind of has this story is my band and your band. Blink had #1s before, but they had a really long period of time where they weren't sort of that household name all over the radio and everywhere, and then have just completely returned to that space. And they broke the record for One More Time was #1 at radio for 20 consecutive weeks. And what's funny about
you broke a record now.
Well, we did, yeah. Our record we broke was it took them a really long time to do this.
What took you so long?
You know, the thing is, too...
That's the next question I was going to...
What's crazy about this song and how well it did is... and this is hypothetical, but if Sublime had not released a single right now, which, of course, Sublime is going to go number one in alternative radio. That's...
Yeah, it fell down. Oh. You're safe.
My kid is just on the floor.
I was going to catch him.
I'm sorry. So Sublime's going to go number one in alternative radio. It's especially with the return and the nature of what this song is for them. But if they hadn't released a song right now, Better Days would have been at number one for 8 weeks, I think, because we stayed number 2 behind them for another 5 weeks after.
You're not mad at Sublime, though?
Not at all. No, that's what I'm saying.
I mean, also it's like
all due respect. It's
still charting top 10.
Like,
we don't forget that part too. Like, that's still amazing.
And also, we're not senior citizens, but we're not young men, So radio is a huge part of our life and who we are as music fans. I grew up in a household that didn't really play a lot of, cool independent music or like classic music that I think a lot of artists and musicians grow up. My parents weren't spinning Beatles records when I was a kid. I got all of my music from the radio and MTV, So like popular mainstream outlets of music is how I became a fan of music when I was young. And so it's important and it means a lot to us. I don't, who knows in the age of streaming what the real difference is in the metrics and all that, but none of that really matters. It's just being an old school rock and roll fan who got all my music from the radio to go number one on the radio. We're all just blown away. I mean, but the radio is just one tiny little part of this. I mean, I don't think in the age of social media, I've never seen people react to music from Yellowcard like they are right now.
What do you think is the reason for that? I mean, I imagine part of it is just the anticipation of, people being happy that you're back, but there's more to it than that.
Well, if you put out a shitty record, the anticipation doesn't matter, does it?
Good point. But, so don't advice, don't do that.
We never try to do that either.
I just, it's been a long time where we've been able to read what everybody thinks about everything in life, and this has just been so overwhelmingly positive. It's hard to find a comment somewhere that doesn't like Better Days, and that's really amazing.
So I mentioned that the industry is kind of fickle, or it is very fickle. And when was your first album out? 2003-ish?
Yeah, the first record that the world knew about came out in 2003. Yeah.
I mean...
That's an EP.
Yeah, that's not an album.
But, I mean, the amount of things that have changed. Obviously, social media didn't really exist. I mean, I guess... I don't even think MySpace existed then.
It was AOL Messenger.
It was message boards.
We had IM.
We did it on the message board.
We had Makeout Club, if you remember that. Makeout Club was...
I don't.
It was kind of like a basically an indie rock. It was called Makeout Club. Anyway, Makeout Club was great.
I wasn't in there.
I was a member of Makeout Club. And we had, I don't know, Friendster, Napster, I don't know. The internet obviously changed so many things, and the radio landscape changed. Streaming didn't exist. I mean, it was so much changed in the last 20-something years. And then for you to come back, I guess I'm sort of rambling, but I wonder what any trepidation or concerns, if any, you had about kind of returning to a musical landscape that's so different from how you left it or how you started.
Yeah, I mean, I think part of that fear of the how do we do this, when, what, why, and it was just kind of all answered organically, right? It was that moment of kind of looking at each other and this is a great opportunity. Do we hug it out and say, hey, Ocean Avenue 20 years and then see you guys later? Or are we going to do something really special? And obviously the answer was we want to do it special, but how do we do it? How do we get there? And then Ryan had a brilliant idea. He said, let's write the best Yellowcard record we ever wrote. And
was that my idea?
That was the final product.
I'm going to say you guys should, if you're a fan of our band and this record, send a thank you to Third Eye Blind. Because there was an actual conversation of like, should we say that's it? after that tour in 2023 because it was so massive, and we've got some scar tissue from coming down the backside of that mountain in our past, and we were all just feeling so good about that. And there was an honest thought of like, should we just take that memory and say congratulations on doing the biggest tour of your whole life, your whole career, or do we go? Because the only other thing we can do is go make an album. And then Third Eye Blind called out of nowhere and said, "Do you want to support us on a full U.S. tour?" And they're one of our all-time favorite bands from our childhood, and so it was like, well, we can't stop yet, and so that conversation kept going, and I think in 2010s, I mean, I think anyone in this room does not fall into this category, but no, you don't want to be in the category I'm about to say.
Let him finish.
Yes, but I'm saying that we put as much of ourselves into the records in the 10s as we did as we have into any record, including this one. We're in the studio, we're in it. But during that time, we were grinding it out so hard to keep music as a job, to be able to pay our bills. We were touring like 10 months a year, starting in 2011 when we came off like a 2-year break. And then we would finish the tour, and it was just right back into the studio, 2 months of writing, recording, right back out. I mean, we just, no breaks. And therefore, I think those records started to sort of become like a little more transactional. They were like, I keep saying they were like business cards for tours, as opposed to like major events in our lives and our career. And by taking 9 years to make an album, we didn't know we were going to make this album, but it's really made this record an extremely special event for us personally. And I think that is naturally going to translate to fans and people listening to the record. That tour in 2023 did so well that it was like the first time in 20 years that we've been afforded the luxury to kind of relax and take some time and focus on writing and just, not go, well, you have a show on this day, so the record has to be done by this day so we can mix and master it in time for you to be back on the road. That was not the case. We spent over a year making Better Days. We haven't done that since, we were 23 years old. We spent about a year making Ocean Avenue, if you count like all the writing and everything for it. And Licensed Sounds too, probably was close to a year. It was like December to August was kind of that process. So
sounds right. Yeah,
it's just, I think, and I hope going forward that that's the case, that we have a little bit more breathing room to focus on getting you guys the best songs we can write for you, and also just our own mental health and being able to enjoy this a little bit more. Because the 10s, when we ended up deciding to step away from this, we thought we were stepping away forever because, for one of many reasons, we were just fucking exhausted. We were just done. It never stopped. We never came home.
It's just hard to talk about the intersection of business and art, right? Like, if you guys are like, we love the songs, and we're like, it's hard for us to live right now. Like, it's like such a weird conversation.
Well, you had a song on the radio in 2003, so you're a millionaire.
Yeah, I did put some of that away, but it didn't last forever. So it's
common misconception, by the way.
The luxury of it is now we're able to like make something that we feel good about it. We always put everything into it, but take a little bit longer and really wrap it up and finish it in a nice package. It takes some time away and take care of ourselves and feel good and be happy about all that other stuff instead of just grind. Because we, like, something that's ingrained in us is like, we just want to be the best all the time, for us, for you, and it's hard to do that when you're just grinding it out 11 months.
So you said that you wanted to make the best record you ever made. It seems like a lot of people here would agree. Do you think they achieved that?
I see a lot of people not raising their hands.
It was more.
I'd like to talk to you after.
There we go.
It was more. It was more. We just need to make a record that really matters. I don't. It wasn't. This has to be the best. You can't. You're never going to make the best record of your career if you're consciously saying I'm going to make the best record I've ever made. But it just had to. But every aspect of it had to matter, not just the songs. The record company we decided to team up with, the promotion of the album, who's going to produce the album, it just had to carry some weight because we just did not want to fall into that pattern of putting out a record that that didn't feel like we were making progress. Like take the money out of it, take the size of the shows and all, like those things come if you're making progress, right? And we just felt for a long time when we led up to the inevitable decision to no longer be in Yellowcard that progress had come to a halt. And then that's, why keep doing this, especially creatively, like why keep doing something if you're not if you're not advancing in many different ways. But like this feels like 20 years of progress in how long has the record been out? 7 days, 5 days? In 5 days. I mean, it's like, this is what we were looking for. This is what we hoped for so much. We owe a whole lot of this to Travis and his leadership and his mentorship and his guidance making this record and kind of helping us. I keep talking about the source code of Yellowcard. He helped us kind of find and tap into like the sound that, we think you guys have been looking for from us for a long time. Yeah, it was incredible working with him. And he's a big reason why the record is what it is.
So yes, obviously I want to ask more about that. I assume you guys go way back, but how did he come on board with this project, and what exactly did he do to sort of inspire you and galvanize you and get you excited about this coming back together?
We don't go way back.
We don't. This is a very new friendship.
Oh, I'm kind of surprised by that.
I struggle with the first name basis thing. It's still respectfully Mr. Barker.
He still calls him Mr. Barker.
I assumed you were on, I don't know, the
it's
Warped
actually
Tour.
Mr. Barker, sir. Hello, Mr. Barker, sir.
Never even played a show with them before.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like festival bills, but we never kind of ran together. And in that luxury and that element of time, it happened organically. And so it wasn't a decision that we got to make. It was like, hey, who do you want to drum and do the record for? Travis Barker, of course, top of the list. And it worked out that way. We had the idea to work with some other writers for the first time in Yellowcard history, and something that you're creatively kind of protective about, because you don't want to have it be, just like a business transaction. This guy comes in, this is what I do for work. You're going to sing this part, or I'm going to play your part. We didn't want to feel like that. And so we kind of sought out some friends that were band guys, that were guitar players. Nick Long had worked with Blink but was a longtime friend of our guitar player Ryan Mendez, who apologizes why he can't be here. He's not feeling well. So, but he was in Ryan's first band, Staring Back, and so we were going to work with Nick, top of the list in Los Angeles. We did a song for Disney, A Whole New Sound, A Whole New World, and we were going to kind of write a couple songs living room style just like this with Nick. And Nick had texted Ryan Mendez and was like, hey, I talked to Travis and he wants to know if you guys want to come over to his place and write some songs. And we're like, Travis who? like that wasn't it. That wasn't in our vocabulary yet. And then we sat around the table at the Airbnb. We're like, we're going to go over there, right? Like,
here we go.
Don't get nervous. And we wrote some songs and they ended up on the record. So it was pretty organic. Again, the luxury of time and having those decisions kind of be laid out in front of us and making sure that they're the right decisions for Yellowcard.
It's funny how I just kind of had this feeling like it was time to maybe do some co-writes. Like Sean said, we've never done it before. And if you guys, I recognize some of you friends here in this room, I'm just like an EDM kid now. Rock and roll has like left my body for some reason. It is what it is. I mean, I still listen to like, if I'm going to put on a record, I'm still listening to, Radiohead or Nirvana or what my records from way back. But like, there's not a lot of new rock music that I seek out. And there's definitely not music like in our scene that I'm like familiar with.
Except for the new Yellowcard record, he's spinning that.
That I'm familiar with in terms of like having my finger on the pulse of like what's working right now and all whatever. So when all those conversations about if we're going to make a record, it needs to kind of be these things. I kind of brought up the idea thinking, I full disclosure, I think I might need a little help to get the ball rolling and get the creative juices flowing. to see if I could still write pop punk songs, you know?
Did you doubt that you had it?
Oh yeah, 100%. I went into this process like as insecure and unsure of myself as I've ever been in my life. But having someone like Nick, to Sean's point, if we were going to do this, we wanted to work with friends, people we knew. We didn't want to bring in, you know, just like LA, like top line writers that we didn't know. And I've done that. I've been in those sessions outside of Yellowcard. It's a surreal thing. When the band broke up, I lived in Nashville and I thought I was going to get into songwriting. That's what I thought I was going to do. But I hated it. Like the transactional nature of it, where you show up in the morning, hi, nice to meet you. All right, let's pour our hearts out and write a song. It just didn't. Some people are amazing at it. Nick is amazing at it. But I just felt like it was like, I take 2 months to write a song. I can't do this in 3 hours, you know? But anyways, we didn't want it to feel like that. And we knew that if Nick was on board, we'd be writing like kind of through the whole process with him. We worked with our friend Andrew Goldstein, who's written on so many songs that you guys know and love right now. He's an amazing dude, and also just a band first, you know? So it's like having another member of the band in the room. And fans of Yellowcard, both of them, you know, and so that helped too, because they were part of the reason we were able to tap into that, you know, like I said, that like source code of the band, because they were like, well, let's focus on, you know, these kinds of riffs and these kind of melodies, because this kind of feels authentic to you guys. And once we got a couple of songs out, then, as typically happens for me on a record, in terms of lyrics and melody and stuff on a record, it was like floodgates just open, and I started. I was Skin Scraped and Love Letters Lost were both demos that I basically flushed out in their entirety at home alone and sent to everyone. I was like, is this good? Are these okay? And everyone was like, yeah, dude, then they made it on the record. So those were big breakthroughs for me, just in terms of songwriting, because it was,
also, just so you know, like when he's like, oh, I don't think I have it, we're always like, yeah, bro, you got it.
I know. Yeah.
He just doesn't want to listen to us.
That's
so
right. That's right.
I didn't want him to paint us in a negative way. You know.
Yes. I work best when I have no confidence in myself. No, it was really a breakthrough thing for me, and making the record, and now that it's out and hearing how happy it's making people, I cannot tell you the last time. Going back to what I was saying about the records we made in the 2010s, which sort of started to feel a little bit more forced, like we had to do them versus really wanting to do them at the times that we did. I can't remember the last time that we had an album that came out 5 days ago, and I'm already like, just my brain is firing to go write more songs, and that's just a really cool feeling. Especially when I don't listen to rock and roll or pop punk anymore. It's like, I just want to go write some pop punk. Let's go. You know?
Let's go.
Did any of your EDM world, I don't hear a lot of EDM on this record, but in any way did it sort of influence the way you write?
I don't know about the way I write or we write. I think it does, it makes its way into like production in certain ways, you know? Just flourishes of things that could maybe do with a keyboard, but could do with a guitar instead. Or, but City of Angels on the record, which is kind of like the segue in the middle of it, is fully electronic instrumentally. With there's a little bit of guitar on top, but that was and violin in the bridge, which rips. And we did a lot of well, I mean, yeah, this is like something to, you know, a production thing that we haven't always done, and you can hear it on the record a lot. For violin parts like that, we doubled the violin all over the record. So it gives it this really cool kind of chorusy feeling that, again, it's like it's very clearly not, you guys all remember on Lights and Sounds when you were like, well, what happened to the violin? It's all over the record. It's just going through distortion pedals and delays and reverbs and stuff. And it sounded more like a guitar. This is like, you know, it's the violin, and it's very signature Yellowcard, but it has something new to it. Like there's a,
yeah, baby. I don't know. I'm running Fishman's. They sound great.
Yeah.
We got you.
So there's little production tricks and things like that I think made their way in. But I was, that demo, City of Angels was a demo that Travis had. It was just sitting there, and he was like, I've never used this, but I love it. And I was like, give me that. I'll go home tonight and I'll finish it. And I just came back in the next day with all the lyrics and melody, and then he started ripping the violin on it, and that one came together really fast.
Yeah, it was amazing.
And surprisingly too,
and Travis was into it.
It's like it's a very regular favorite song on the album so far when I see people posting about the record. And
it's my son's favorite song.
I'm so surprised by that, because we've tried some outside the box things to not with not much success.
To mixed reviews.
Yes, to mixed reviews. So I didn't know what people were going to think about this fully electronic song on the record, but it's really connecting with people, and I think it's cool. I look forward to maybe using that piece in the live show down the road somehow.
What about a Better Days remix album?
I mean,
that's a thing people do these days.
There may or may not be one that's going to be mind-blowing in the works already right now. Not the whole album, but a song.
Can you divulge who might?
I'm not going to tell you.
All right. Watch this space.
That's all you get. That's all you get.
I'll take it. We mentioned
tell all our secrets.
I mean, that's exciting though. But I'd also want to talk about lyrics. You've mentioned lyrics because I mean, you made that joke like about not being senior citizens, but not being kids anymore, and
feel fine.
I don't think you're even close to being senior citizens, but yes, of course, when you're reflecting on your career, the nostalgia that your fans would have, a hiatus and coming back, changes you've all had in your lives, personally as well as professionally. I mean, it's got to affect. What were you writing about? How were you taking stock of your lives or your history as a band or whatever? And how did that come out in these lyrics? I mean, the title "Better Days" makes it seem like you're reflecting.
Yeah. I think this whole getting here from there kind of thing, from when we said it's over, collectively, probably the lowest point in our career and possibly our lives. It's like you're saying goodbye to the only thing you've really ever known. I mean, for me, it was getting out of the band. I was like, well, who am I? What do I even do, or who am I without Yellowcard? And so getting from there to here for all of us has been both individually and collectively a lot about healing. Something we talked about really early on. We had a lot of really cool adult conversations when we started talking about getting this going again. And we just talked about the concept that we have to be more kind to each other, and to ourselves. But that we have to allow space for ourselves to express how we feel and not make it such an individual effort as it had been for so many years. So I think the record at its core is about healing and growing. Being the lyricist, obviously I'm kind of taking charge of that direction, but I wrote about my son and becoming a father for the first time. Wrote about some tough things I went through before I met my wife, kind of just allowing myself to sort of be taken advantage of by certain situations and kind of what that felt like. But nonetheless, all part of the growth and the learning of how to get where we are now. So I think that's another reason maybe why people are pumped on the record. It's just that, I feel like the lyrics are really honest and intelligible. The last couple of Yellowcard records we made before we broke up are probably my favorite lyrics I have ever written, but they were definitely, I would kind of out of line with what the classic Yellowcard. It wasn't as much about storytelling. It was more kind of internalizing thoughts and feelings, and a little more abstract, I guess, is a heady word to use for it. But I feel like these lyrics kind of found their way back to being more to the point. It seems like they're hitting people in the right way. When
you're talking about band relations, band dynamics, and healing and all that, I'm asking this sincerely, not in a facetious way. Did you go to therapy together? Because some bands do that, like Metallica has done it. Aerosmith, I think, did it. Did you do that, or did you just did you conduct your own therapy
Our
session?
manager is our therapist.
Yeah, we have an amazing support system. We're a female-ran business. We have our booking agent, long time.
Let's cheer for that.
Absolutely.
Woo!
Absolutely. You need that energy out there. And Corey Christopher Martin, she's been our booking agent. We talk about her quite a bit. She signed on to Yellowcard Project first, 26 years ago. And that is so rare to have someone care about your band and book you and put you places and take care of you, but also guide you. She pulled me aside and she was like, hey, I know you have kids and a whole different life, but just trust me. if you love music still and you want to play, like we can make this happen. And Kristen, our manager, she's just been there for us and giving us time to heal and talk to each other and talk to her. And, you know, we started this band, you know, Ryan and I, we dropped out of college together. And so you go through so much growth in that period, and then life takes you in different ways. But yes, to your point, we have worked on ourselves, right? And then sometimes you have to give each other time to grow and be kind to them as well, and remind them that you still want to support and love. It just comes from a different place. So we did all that, you know, within the whole Yellowcard camp. And it's not just us up here. It's the people that help us. Our director of touring, Chris Nada's in the house. He's our road therapist. So yeah, we have wonderful people, and that's part of like this great chapter of Yellowcard is it's like we just have amazing people, and we always have, but like right now it feels like it's the greatest hits, like all together.
Was there a period of time during your hiatus or whatever you want to call it where you guys didn't speak at all, or were you guys in communication even if you weren't a working band?
Yeah.
Sean and I didn't talk to each other for 6 years.
Oh, wow.
It was until like rehearsal for Riot Fest. I mean, we didn't really have a reason to talk at that point, but like, I mean, I ran I started a whole new second executive life with my family. Like we're in the same state. We're in the same orbit. Same with, you didn't talk to me either, did you, Josh? This guy.
I mean,
but it's just like, you know, we said goodbye in 2017 and there wasn't really anything else to talk about.
Yeah,
right?
it was a really rough time.
Sad.
It was rough. It was awful. It was terrible.
I also didn't pick up the violin for like 6 years.
Wow.
Every time I played mandolin and ukulele, I still had an outlet. But it reminded me of that, and there's heartbreak in there, and whatever, you know, the way the story was told and how it was ended, like there was joy in it, but also was very sad for each of us.
So do you mind me asking who broke the ice about being like, let's get the band back together? Literally.
Our agent. Corey. Yeah.
Shout out to Corey.
Yeah, what up, girl?
How did it, when that happened, like, was it like riding a bike, or was it a little awkward at first? Because it seems like things are great now.
Yeah, we had some conversations before Riot Fest in 22. Sean and I communicated a little bit via email, just kind of opening up to say, hey, dude, let's figure this out so we can move forward, you know? And then when we all got in the rehearsal space in Chicago, it was pretty rad. I remember like awesome. We played because we were playing Ocean Avenue all the way through at that show, and so we played it like we had 3 days of rehearsal, I think, booked, and on the first day we played the record like 2 times, and we were kind of like, are you good?
Yeah,
I'm good. I think I'm good. I think we're good.
We had our first viral TikTok moment.
Yeah.
In that rehearsal.
First and only, really, but
that's it.
TikTok.
We only had one and done.
I think so. Dang it. So it came, you know, it came together and became clear that there was a lot left in this story pretty quickly. But honestly, we at the end of the tour in 2023, there was a real legitimate conversation about like, this is the biggest thing we've ever done, and it was perfect. Should we call it? You know, it's crazy.
Yeah, and if we tried to do what we're doing right now, then the timing was totally wrong. So it's just amazing how it worked out.
So is that why this album is called Better Days? Because you're having them right now?
So it's the you know, there's a song. We've had albums that are named after a song and then albums that were not. But the title track of the record, Better Days, obviously carries with it a lot of hope and, you know, looking forward to a more positive time, you know. But I will say selfishly that there was a little bit of manifesting there where I was like, Ocean Avenue was called Ocean Avenue. Let's call this Better Days because Better Days is the single. Just maybe it'll help.
Just line the stars.
Maybe it'll help.
I guess it did.
It's working out.
Seems to be working out.
Knock on wood. Somebody knock.
It was just, that song is just it's such a powerful piece of music, and it was a song that Nick had written with Travis, and our friend Taka from 1OK Rock was actually a writer on that song too. And so a lot of what it was kind of existed as a demo, and it was the same situation as City of Angels, where Travis and Nick were like, we have this song. And the first time, I mean, as soon as the riff started, we were just like, that's a Yellowcard song. I mean, Nick, do you want to be in our band? Do you just want to be in our band? Because I either want to just play guitar or just sing. Someday, can that happen? Just come play guitar in our band so I can stop doing it. But we heard the demo and we were just blown away. And then we took it and it didn't have a bridge. Obviously didn't have violin melodies and parts. And I tweaked a lot of the lyrics, kind of rewrote the verses and things like that to make it our own. But it was just such a powerful piece of music. And so I think it's fitting to be the title of the album, both for what it implies and for the song it represents. So
before we hand it over for some audience questions, because I'm sure there's many people here who get ready, get your questions ready. I have a couple more, because we talked about, obviously, you working with Travis Barker, and there's a couple other icons of that era who are on this album. Avril Lavigne's on the record. I just saw her sing with Billy Idol last month, which was really fun. She's on his record too. I assumed you guys went way back, but maybe you didn't.
Nope.
How did you guys get together?
We didn't really.
It was my idea.
I'm finding when we're doing press for this, it's easier to answer both, like Skiba and Avril, in the same question. We had nothing to do with either one. Okay. We said, man, this sounds like a classic Avril Lavigne like ballad from 2002. And Travis said, do you want me to get her to sing on it? Man, this.
And we looked around the room like, yeah, that sounds like a great idea, Mr. Travis Barker.
When I came into the sessions after the break and I had demoed Love Letters Lost, I was like, hey guys, check this demo out that I did. Sean was like, this sounds like an Alkaline Trio song. Travis says, do you want me to get Skiba to sing on it? Well, now, yes.
Why did I assume that you guys were totally hanging out on like the Warped Tour or whatever, like at TRL or whatever?
I don't know. We know we're super friendly with the Alkaline Trio guys. We've played lots of shows with them, and stayed in touch over the years. So I hadn't talked to Matt in a long time, but it was really cool. Travis and Matt FaceTimed me the night that he was recording the vocals, and it was a pretty mind blowing phone call for me, because Matt was like, "Hey, it's great to see you," and whatever, and he straight up just said, "Also, fuck you, because I want this song for my band," and so. To hear, he was like, the chorus is just, and so to hear Matt Skiba, someone I've been listening to since I was 20 years old, say that to me was pretty wild. But then, we hung up the phone, and like 3 hours later, Travis sent me a rough mix with Skiba's vocals on it, and it was just wild. Just wild.
Awesome.
So Alkaline Trio aren't playing it when we were young festival, but no. Avril is. You guys are. Blink are. So I'm kind of curious. Obviously, Better Days isn't totally an exercise in nostalgia, but there is nostalgia there, and people are nostalgic for just this whole era of music, which I would argue is maybe the last time that guitar-driven music was really just at the.
You are correct.
The center of youth culture.
Yeah.
That so
violin, guitar-driven music.
Sorry, my apologies. My apologies.
Excuse me.
That's what I meant to say.
All day it's been. Pardon me.
I'm just curious why it feels like. All of it's not just this what you guys are doing, or the fact that everyone's very excited about My Chemical Romance when they reunited a few years ago. Like Avril is out there again. Like people seem to really want this back, and that's why this festival is so successful. What are your thoughts about why this music is connecting, and not just with your old fans or people who remember it the first time, but like young kids as well?
I don't like to think about it. I choose to just enjoy it.
That's amazing.
It doesn't matter.
What do you think, Josh?
I think people are nostalgic for when times were better, because obviously things are super screwed up right now. And for me, this kind of music takes me back to when I was like really, really happy and way younger. So I think that probably plays into it.
I mean, there's a balance, right? I think if you have synth or computer-driven music, I think there's just a craving for some real, organic, just good old-fashioned sit in a room, play guitar, stringed instruments. So it's either way, whatever the reason is, we're here now. We're so happy to be here.
We're happy to have you. Although I am looking forward to a possible remix album that's the best of both worlds. I did like the Steve Aoki Ocean Avenue 20th anniversary remix.
Yes, Steve is our bud. I'm hoping to see him this weekend.
All right.
I'm hoping to jump off his roof again.
Wait, when did that? I gotta get that story.
Yeah, when we did the song.
You
He
jumped
was
off
like,
his roof.
he gave us a tour of his complex.
He built his pool in a way that is deep enough to safely launch from the third floor of his house.
Third
into the
floor?
pool.
He had, well, yeah, it was like, either way. But he built a runway off his roof with a gate that you just open up.
That's rock and roll.
It took me a while to get back to the surface. I didn't know I was going to be underwater that long.
Oh, my stars. All right. So, yeah, we're happy to have you. Better days ahead. I assume you already are excited to write another record. We're going to get another record. Even better days.
We signed.
You can use that.
We signed. Thank you. We signed a 3-record deal. So it's hold on. Don't get. They have to option they have to say yes. We're going to make.
Yeah.
It's one with 2 options.
It's not really up to us. It's kind of up to you guys, so no pressure.
So
You guys can go independent at this time.
that would probably not be the best move right now.
Yeah, we're on a really great team. We're just going to lean into better days for a minute, but yes, there's
Makes sense.
2 possible options.
Makes sense. All right. So before you do your signing, let's take some questions from the fans. Anyone? Just raise your hand. Yes. I'll get to you next, but you first.
You mentioned this a little bit about your inspirations and influences now in your personal lives writing the new album. And in the lyrics in the past, there's been references to Big Fish, Spider-Man, even Shakespeare, Lost Star Wars. I'm seeing a reference to a Third Eye Blind lyric. What are the inspirations now where you are in your life? Is it the same that it's been? Is it, deeper or a different understanding? Or is there something kind of new that's come through over the last 10 years that's kind of like not taking this, like you said, EDM, it's kind of like where you're flowing into. But what are your main influences and inspirations now that you've found?
You mean in terms of lyric, like inspiring lyrics? Well, the trick here is with it being so the thing about nostalgia is I think we're past that. I think if when we were young popped off for a year and then none of the bands made records and we're having success, then it was a let's get together to celebrate this thing we remember. I think we're out of that. I think people are listening to music. That's what I think's happening. And they're listening to this kind of music and they're excited about it. So for us to make a record that fits into the fan base now, what would people be most excited to hear from our band? Because I don't think we're in a place in our career where making, you might not all get this reference, but making Kid A, Radiohead Kid A is like, that's not what we need to do right now. And if we felt like we needed to, though, and we would not be creatively fulfilled otherwise, that's what we would have done. I think we agreed we would be creatively fulfilled to try to search for this source, to try to find what made us all excited about writing songs for Yellowcard when we first started doing it. But the trick is, how do you do that when you're 45 and not just sound like you're desperately trying to be 25? It is a super fine line to walk. And I think a place that the record achieves in that is the lyrics, because the music to me feels very authentically Yellowcard, very energized, very fresh. Travis's production brings a kind of newness to the sound as well. But lyrically, I'm writing about fatherhood and, falling in love again for real, and my finding my wife and her absolutely. There may or may not be a song you guys haven't heard yet, but having my life changed in these amazing ways, and then having the maturity to look at our story as a band and talk about it openly through the lyrics in terms of that healing process, and being honest with you guys about how unhealthy the whole thing was at the end, our relationships were not good. We were not friendly. We were in a really bad place, and we're in quite frankly the most amazing place we've ever been as a band in any version, any lineup, any whatever. I know that's been a wild part of this story is all the members have changed, and it's been really hard on the fans, and we've always felt awful about that. But this lineup and this moment we're having is without question maybe the only iteration of the band in time the band where every single thing about it is just positive energy. So I think with that maturity of understanding those things and writing lyrics that's where I got the inspiration from.
You had a question? Yeah.
California, and there was a rumor throughout high school that you guys got. I know you're from Florida, and I was informed by my dear friend here that your first show was in the lobby of the Ventura Theater.
Correct. Yeah.
Is there any further connection to that city past that?
Oh yeah.
My wife and I will walk down Ocean Avenue in Ventura. I don't know if it's an homage. It started as such.
It's not it's not specifically Ventura,
Ventura's
but if you
Ocean
count
Avenue,
Thousand Oaks, Camarillo,
Newbury
Oxnard,
Park.
that whole area, that's where we that was our home base when we moved here in 2000.
When we threw the dart at the map, like rolled the van up, 6 dudes living in a house. Like,
yeah.
Newbury Park.
We had it's a long story that I don't need to tell the whole thing of, but I was in a band for a short time before I left Florida, joined a band in Santa Cruz, and then it didn't work out and I went home. But during the time that I was in that band, we had a band open for us at a show in Ventura, and the guys in that band became like family to me at that time of my life. And on my way back home to Florida, I stayed with them for like a month. I just stopped in Camarillo and slept on a couch for a month.
What band was it?
The band I was in.
The band that became your
God. What were they called? What was Travis and Joey's band? No.
Like a band that...
It was before Stole Your Woman and Duck Butter. It was before both of those.
I don't know.
I'm sorry. I don't remember.
I didn't know if it was
Duck
like
Butter.
Sorry, Travis. Different Travis. But anyways,
Mr.
when I started playing with Yellowcard, I had this experience of being in California and what it was like to play shows out here, and just kind of how much more opportunity there was, how many more,
He came back to Tallahassee, Florida, and he told us a story of this land.
Yes.
Gather around.
And so we had a place to go. That was kind of the point. That's the point of the story. I had a really solid network of friends and support in Central California. And so when I suggested that, well, first we got our first little record deal, which was out of Santa Barbara, which is also kind of Ventura adjacent, It was like, let's go be close to that. But also I have friends here, like we can get jobs and help us get jobs and help us kind of plug into life there.
We worked at Chili's.
And we did. Chili's Westlake Village.
I feel like you guys need to do the Baby Back Ribs song for them. That's Chili's, right?
We have. We have, long time ago.
Oh, okay. I did not know that. Is that on the internet? Can I find that?
Oh, no. He means like us singing it in the van.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Or at work. Yes.
There we go.
Yes.
There you go. There you go.
Chili's, we're open for sponsorships.
How much time do we have for questions? Would you say a couple more? Okay. Well, let's take one more question. I saw you first, so let's take 2 if we can make them quick. And then apparently I'm going to do some kind of game show thing.
Raffle.
It should be quick. So, do you actually like soccer? Football, so I'm English. So, do you like
Footy.
football? Soccer?
Yes, we do.
Who's your team?
Who's your team?
Manchester United.
No. Not City? Not
Dude, give
Manchester
the guy a
City?
break. It hasn't been great.
There's like
Give him
a
break.
City United
break.
rivalry.
They were
There's a
good.
City United rivalry, I understand.
I don't personally. I don't know that I have like a club team that I follow as closely as I follow American football.
Josh has a team.
Braves.
The Braves. I was, man, when I lived out here though, I was really deep into the Galaxy game. I went to the games all the time. I was at the MLS Cup Championship in 2010 when they beat Houston. I was at the game. It was awesome. I saw David Beckham score that corner kick for the Galaxy that went in. It has like 60 million views on YouTube or something. I was sitting behind the corner like when he kicked that ball. My hair is standing up right now. I was at that game.
Was Posh there?
So I don't know. Probably not. He was playing in MLS. She didn't give a shit about that. She's, but I love well, the World Cup is just, I live for it. Live for it. I can't wait to watch us lose next year. Yes.
So I work in football in Australia, and when you come back next year, we should go to a game.
Yes, we're coming in February, and we have lots of days off.
With Good Charlotte.
Drop us a business card on the table. We'll figure it out.
Yeah, thank you.
Awesome. There was one quick question over there. We'll end with that.
Question. If you could go back to your 25-year-old self and you were trying to get into the music industry here in LA, what's the one biggest piece of advice for you for yourself back then?
Man.
So
Is it 2005 when I'm giving the advice, or is it
it's
2025?
right now. It's kind of, it probably would be the same thing.
Well, it's tough because I don't know how to tell you how to get streams, dude, and that's
Yeah.
all anyone gives a shit
don't
about
care.
anymore.
As an artist or as an like some type of employee?
But
as an artist, yeah. Good luck.
No,
It's hard.
I
gotcha.
all I can do is tell you what we did, right? I mean, that's the advice comes from life experience.
Yeah.
We played every single show we could possibly do. It didn't matter. We played a 9-year-old kid's birthday party in a living room for our buddy who was a manager at a Domino's
We
Pizza.
played a
in Camarillo.
graduation party in a kid's back, yard. We jumped in the pool. Like we just did everything.
We
wanted
played
to
high
work.
school lunchrooms on
Yeah.
show days. We would carry a PA on sticks in the trailer, load in. We would call ahead, find the student president or the principal or whoever, get it cleared, roll into the lunchroom with our amps and PA on sticks and play shows, and then go play a show that night on whatever tour we were on.
Yeah, you just like tripods.
Yeah, like
You
like
just,
a like
just
a stand.
outwork
Sorry.
everybody, right?
Stand.
And like we never cared. I mean, the first idea was we just want to be on Warped Tour. We didn't even want to get signed. We didn't that wasn't really an option. And so you just you stay in your lane. You got to be original, right? You got to do your own thing. It's got to be different. But like if you work hard enough, people are going to notice and they'll come find you. It's just impossible. I can't imagine it. So good luck.
And clearly live music and people playing live music is really having what feels like a moment right now. And that's not streams. That's people wanting to connect and feel the energy in a room. So who knows what the future of all of this is? And again, it's like, who can give any advice on streaming? It's just like, it's a hellscape. I mean, but I think if you play well and write good music, I mean, that's the intangibles, right? Who knows what songs you're writing, but man, we played a lot of shows. I had to have surgery on my voice because I think we played too many shows.
No wonder why you sound different than you did from Ocean Avenue versus like the sounds and everything after.
Yes, because I had a huge cyst on my vocal cord that I didn't know was there until they cut it off, and it changed my voice once it was gone. So, yeah.
All right. On that note, I'm doing this game show moment. What are we raffling off here?
Ooh.
5. So I'm going to pull 5 of them. All right. So I'm going to say your name and then go to the front desk to get it. And I'm closing my eyes. Or do you guys want to do it? Do you You do it.
Go.
Drum roll.
What are you doing? Last 3?
Yeah, last 3 probably.
8-12.
Yeah.
Do you have a vinyl record player?
Yeah.
Cool.
Say you got to get a vinyl player.
You guys got
now.
to clap for everybody though, okay? It's not like yeah.
Go.
Ticket holder number 822. Yeah, let's
you go.
go, boy.
Do you have a vinyl player? My man.
Yeah. Congratulations.
I've got 803. There you go.
Yeah.
I think we have.
If anyone wins one of these and doesn't have a vinyl player,
You won a Yellowcard placement.
I apologize to your bank account, but it's time for you to start. It's time.
And you said there were 5 total, so
Yeah.
Okay, so 2 more.
2 more. Oh, thank you, sir.
820.
Yeah.
One last drum roll.
This is a
for the last one.
Yellowcard coaster.
I can't roll my tongue or I would do it.
Number 819. Yeah.
Congratulations. Hey, thank you guys for being
Thank
here
you.
today.
Thanks,
Thank
everybody.
you. Thank you for coming.
Um,
And yeah, you're gonna sign.
we're gonna go sign some
vinyl.
stuff. Yeah.
All right.